Writer's block isn't a sign that you're not cut out to be an author, but how you respond to those stuck moments determines whether you stay stuck or move forward. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do the next time the words won't come. We've all had those days. You sit down, switch on your computer, and nothing. The words just won't come. You stare at the screen, type a sentence, delete it, retype it, and wonder if somehow you've forgotten how to write altogether. It's frustrating, especially when you've set aside precious time to work on your book. So whether you're stuck on the first line, halfway through a draft, or on revisions, writer's block can feel discouraging and even a little lonely. But getting stuck is actually part of the creative process. Even the most successful authors hit walls. What matters most is how you respond to those stuck moments. And more often than not, the solution isn't to push harder, it's to shift your approach. Before we get into the strategies, I want to share a different way of thinking about writer's block, because it might just change how you feel about it entirely. We often treat writer's block like a crisis, like a sign that something is wrong with us or our ability to write. But what if it's not a problem to fix, but actually a message to listen to? Writer's block might not mean you're blocked at all. It might just mean you're tired or overwhelmed, trying too hard to get it perfect, pushing through an idea that doesn't feel right. So here's a different look at it. Writer's block is feedback. It's your creative brain saying, I need a minute, or this isn't the story I want to tell right now, or even let's play right now instead of pushing. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do isn't to force more words, it's to pause and to reflect, or take a small detour that brings joy back into the process. The irony is when you stop fighting writer's block, it often loses its power. Instead of seeing it as a wall, try treating it like a redirection sign that's pointing you towards rest or curiosity or a new idea that fits better than the one that you were trying to force. This mindset shift can be free. You're not broken, but you can use it as an opportunity to evolve. And I've got one strategy coming up that most people would not think of as a solution to writer's block, but it's probably my favorite, and it's changed things for me personally. So stay with me for that one. When you're stuck, you do not need more pressure. You need practical, low-pressure ways to reconnect with your creative flow. So here are a few strategies that work for authors. The first is to switch tools or environments. Sometimes a small change can lead to major progress. Try writing by hand instead of typing, or move to a different room, write outside, or change the time of day that you work. Use sticky notes or index cards to map out scenes or ideas visually. You can also try to talk it out. Sometimes saying your story out loud, even just to yourself, can help you hear what's not quite working and what might come next. These shifts signal to your mind that you're doing something new, possibly more playful, and it removes the pressure of your usual writing routine and writer's block. The second strategy is to lower the stakes. In your stories, you need to up the stakes, but in your writing, it can help to lower the stakes. Perfectionism is one of the biggest causes of writer's block. Instead of aiming for a full picture book manuscript with revisions, aim for an outline or revising 2 paragraphs. Instead of perfect, aim for done. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write anything that comes to your mind, even if it's messy. Let yourself write badly on purpose. You can fix it later. Start in the middle of your story instead of at the beginning. Just pick the part you're most excited about. When did you last give yourself permission to write something truly terrible on purpose? It's more free than you think. The third strategy is to try a different creative outlet. Creative energy doesn't disappear, it just sometimes needs a new channel. So maybe doodle your character or paint a picture, write a silly poem or a letter from your main character to your future self. This keeps the creative gears turning without forcing the specific project that you're stuck on. And speaking of what successful authors do when they hit a wall, I'm going to share some examples in a moment, and one of them might really surprise you. All right, now the fourth strategy is to use constraints to your advantage. Oddly enough, limits can unlock creativity. It's like we find new freedoms within these new specific barriers. Give yourself a word count cap, like 100 words. Choose 3 random words and write a scene that includes those 3 words. Or write your story in a different format, like a journal entry or a comic strip. Boundaries can give you something solid to push against. The fifth strategy is to walk away on purpose. If your brain is foggy, don't force it. Sometimes the best writing decision is to not write, just for a bit. Go for a walk, make a cup of tea, do something completely unrelated and let your mind wander. Giving yourself full permission to pause often brings you more clarity and inspiration and is exactly what you need. Now, strategy number 6, and this is the one I mentioned earlier and probably my favorite, training. This is my favorite because I find that often when we get stuck with anything in life, it's not writer's block or any kind of block. It's simply that we don't know exactly how to do it. So the writer's block is rooted in not knowing what to do next, whether that be how do you do character development or plotting or structure or pacing or how to bring your story to life. And getting training or support can give you the clarity and direction you need to move forward with confidence. So when you understand the how, you're less likely to stay stuck. I've experienced this many times myself. Several of my own manuscripts have come from doing training, whether that was a writing craft course or sometimes even something completely different or an illustration course. I get inspired with all kinds of ideas and write a new manuscript. Sometimes my ideas for stories actually come from the illustrations first, and then the manuscript comes after the creative vision. And it applies to really all other areas of life as well. But for writing specifically, it's one of my favorite ways to get unstuck. Whatever tool you choose, the key is to treat writer's block not as a failure, but as a signal. You might just need a new approach, a new skill, or a little bit of kindness to yourself to get back in gear. So writer's block can happen to anyone, even the most successful authors. The difference is they don't see it as the end of the road. They find ways to get through it. Kate DiCamillo, author of Because of Winn-Dixie and The Tale of Despero, has spoken openly about writing 2 pages a day, no matter what. She doesn't wait for inspiration. She shows up and keeps going no matter what, but without pressure to write 50 pages a day. Her process is proof that small, steady effort can get you through a creative slump. R.L. Stine, who's known for his Goosebumps series, says he never gets writer's block. So what is his secret? He outlines everything before he starts. He says this structure gives him a roadmap, so he's never staring at a blank page, wondering what comes next. For some writers, preparation really is the best prevention. And J.K. Rowling shared that the idea for Harry Potter came to her on a train during a moment of total stillness. She had nothing to write with and no pressure to be productive. The idea came when she wasn't trying. That moment of mental space turned into a world-famous story. In my own work coaching children's book authors, I've seen incredible breakthroughs come from just giving yourself permission to write something messy and to let go of the fear of imperfection. What ifs, or but I don't know everything there is to know about all of this, worries. Those shifts help you rediscover your love for writing and brings the joy back and takes the pressure off you. Over to you. Next time you feel stuck, try one of today's strategies. Take a 10-minute walk or free write without editing, or revisit your favorite book for inspiration. And I'd love to hear from you. What is your go-to strategy for getting unstuck when writer's block or frustration strikes? Comment below and let me know. I might feature your tip in a future video. I know how discouraging writer's block can feel, but if there's one thing that's certain, it's that writer's block cannot last forever, especially if you take the right steps to overcome it. So a small shift, a little playing, or simply giving yourself permission to write something imperfect can open the floodgates again. You don't have to power through alone, and you definitely don't have to be on all the time to be a real writer. If you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe for more practical guidance on writing, publishing, and marketing your children's books. And if you would prefer to read these strategies, sign up for the KidLit Creators Chronicle emails. The link is below.